students, as I told you earlier, we have interviewed many industry experts. So let us hear from some of them what they have to share with all of us. Hello sir, nice
Hello,
meeting you.
good afternoon.
Yeah, we are at the Lexi Life Sciences Private Limited, and we will be taking expert input from this pharmaceutical industry. We will also give you a glimpse of the R&D lab and the analytical labs, and how as chemistry teachers and students you can come to know what's all happening inside a pharmaceutical industry. Hello dear teachers, today we are at Lexi Life Sciences Private Limited, Hyderabad, and we will be giving you insight in this pharmaceutical industry. And for this we have requested Dr. Narendra Joshi ji, for he is Vice President and Head of R&D at the Lexi Life Sciences Private Limited, and we will take insight from him so that you as teachers can guide your students regarding pharmaceutical industry. So sir, first of all, thanks to you for agreeing to be part of this interview, and I would like to know what are pharmaceutical industries.
Yeah, basically pharmaceutical industry focuses on discovery and development of drugs which we use in the medications. And there are two types of pharmaceutical industry. One is innovator companies and another is generic company. So innovator company innovates all drugs what like we take routinely. So mainly innovator companies examples are like Pfizer, GSK, AstraZeneca and Abbott. And generic companies are those are making products after their patent expiry. So in generics, like Indian companies like our Therapiva, Laxai, Teva, DRL, Sun, they are all generics companies. So innovator companies invent the drug and sell as a brand medicine till their patent expiry. And generic companies enter in the market after that patent expiry of that particular drugs with their formulation, but only they have to show the bioequivalence of that.
So drugs, as we chemists know that okay, in chemistry labs we can prepare these with the various processes, and in R&D division you must be looking for the processes which are most economical and something where large scale development can happen. So is this correct notion? Because many of our teachers and our students must be having a conception that the drugs manufactured in the lab are right away taken the market. What are the different stages after in the R&D lab you prepare, design a drug and patent it? Then if you can highlight on the stages till market, what all stages the drug goes through.
Yeah, exactly. It is not only like from the lab, it goes to the humans, because now first activity is getting done in R&D is design of NCE, means design of chemical entity. So that designing is done based on like SAR, which is structure activity relationship module, or computer aided designing.
So what type of softwares are used here, if I can interpret you?
Here SAR is the software, structure
SAR
activity relationship. So that is getting used for designing the chemical entity. After designing the new chemical entity, then we synthesize that in R&D. After synthesis, we have to check the preclinical trials of that molecules. Preclinical trials means IC50 and in vivo, in vitro studies of that molecules. Once preclinical studies it passed, it gives the indication that it can be used as a drug. Then it goes for a clinical trials. That clinical trials will be on humans. But before that clinical trials, so that innovator need to file the IND. IND in the FDA of that country.
So the permission has to be taken.
Permission
that
has to be
this
taken.
Can be marketed.
No, this can be taken for the clinical trials on humans.
Okay, before the marketing stage.
Before the marketing
So you
stage.
have the 2-level approvals. First for the clinical trials.
First for the clinical trials.
And then later for
after
marketing.
that, after clinical trials, then once the clinical trials completed successfully, then that innovator company has to file NDA, new drug application, to respective FDA. Once they approve, then marketing starts. Then marketing starts.
Okay. Even after people start buying medicine, do you keep a track of what are the side effects and all, at least for the first batch?
Yes, because in our clinical trials, there are 5 phases, like phase 0, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4.
Okay.
Phase 4, there are safety studies during initial sale. All safety studies also that innovator need to perform.
Because they can be side effects.
Side effects, it is.
And it can be like in one particular human being, they can be in, maybe in the clinical testing that has not come into picture.
Yeah.
So what are the roles of chemistry students in this R&D, if you can highlight?
Yeah, chemistry role is very important in pharmaceutical industry, because all like chemical designing starts in R&D. So R&D for designing and synthesizing molecules, a postgraduate chemistry or PhD chemistry is only having the role. Okay. No other like stream people who can work in that. So like from drug designing to if you'll see that like process development, molecular designing through computer aided molecule, then analytical method developments. Also is a role of
separation
chemist.
When you are preparing something, if you are getting mixture, how do you do separation and all the chromatographic techniques?
Yeah, chromatographic techniques are there, yes. So yeah, that also need to be performed by chemist. Not only research, then after research when we go for manufacturing. So in the manufacturing also chemist is having a role. In manufacturing also there are various departments like manufacturing, quality control, regulatory, safety, waste management. So all these departments also chemist is having very important role.
So if we try to ask you that if those chemistry students who are interested to come in pharmaceutical industry, what are the skill sets they should be prepared with? Because when we are teaching them, we are having theory, we are having experiments also. So as chemistry teachers, what emphasis can be given to the students while doing experiments, if you can highlight, because that will be preparing them and maybe it will be more helpful when you are looking for skills in these students who are getting employed here.
Yeah. Now only if we'll see R&D requires skill set of he need to have a degree in organic chemistry or medicinal chemistry.
But even we have MSc analytical chemistry.
MSc analytical chemistry also is adopted, or he can get the job in analytical department.
R&D, I understand organic chemistry students will be more beneficial
in synthesis side.
Synthetic and all approaches, how you can design these structures.
Yes.
But then what are the skill sets? Like if a fresh MSc person is coming, you must be having many freshers, and how do you differentiate when you're taking interviews that which to be picked up and which to be...
That we picked up, because now not only chemistry, because they have to know all the reaction mechanisms. They should understand what are the named reactions. They should understand what are the safety aspects while working in the chemistry. That is important.
Yeah. So one question more, sir, is coming in my mind is not only chemistry, but I think chemistry with some other fields, like chemistry with computers, chemistry with law, and definitely the other skills which are communication skills, presentation skills, documentation skills. So making them different will be helpful in your different segment as your different divisions as you mentioned. So if you can highlight some more on that part, that how the UG and PG chemistry students, rather than directly coming for job in pharmaceutical industry, if they can prepare themselves along with these degrees with what additional skills will be more useful to get the job in a quicker manner.
Yeah, after post graduation, if we'll see organic chemist, if suppose they do, because they do in academics, I think they are not knowing about how to search the literature. Basically, like literature also now all
At
online.
research level, now
Research
online
level.
research.
Like SciFinder is there,
Yeah.
Reaxis is there. So that training they don't get in the academics, how to search that. Because that is very basic
See, now
requirement.
we have digital journals and we provide them that exposure, and I'll request other teachers also that yes, around this the students can be given more emphasis.
Yes.
In addition
To that, then like what you said, like for postgraduate chemists or PhDs, they should know the presentation skills, making PPTs, handling Excels. And other than R&D, if suppose analytical chemist, if he do any additional analytical courses, because so many now industry or so many industries has come up, they gives training or 6 months applied courses for handling instruments. So that can be done. And for if you'll see intellectual property, then there are 1 or 2 years diploma courses for intellectual property management. But intellectual property management is quite important in R&D, because without innovation, R&D cannot go anywhere.
And one more question I have in mind is, being a pharmaceutical industry and even in our chemistry lab, we sometimes throw chemicals in the drain, and it is not good for environment. So in educational institutes still it is small scale, but coming to pharmaceutical industries, how do you handle this waste management?
Yeah, that only I thought of coming, because in our educational or curriculums, like what I feel we are not having training about environment, emphasis on environment management or waste management.
In this course, we are putting emphasis on that, and we are having some modules that even if some accidents happen, then how they can be handled, first aid and all, what are the do's and don'ts, and then how you can have environmental friendly practices. But yes, as industry, when these students are coming here, it's very important, because here it is even the problem becomes massive. You are doing it in large scale. So for every reaction, right at the research level, you keep in mind that what will be the side products they will be there, and what will be the environment friendly, how they can be further used, or they can be put up into disposal.
Yes, because in our curriculum, I think we should add green chemistry, means sustainable chemistry courses also, or some
that has
topic.
been added, but unfortunately it has to be, it is not integrated in each and every experiment.
Yes.
So I think now it is our duty collectively that if the green chemistry can be embedded in each and every reaction,
Yes.
when we are doing that, how it can be reused in other experiment, or if it can be put up into multi-stage, it can be reused, or if we are disposing of, it should be disposed of safely as per the requirement of that chemical.
Yes, and disposal now, like candidate should be taught regarding what is the MSDS of any chemical, material safety data sheet. Based on that, the toxicity is mentioned in that. So like in our R&D also, what we do, our organic waste, inorganic waste and aqueous waste, we store separately.
Okay.
And and every R&D now there is a mandatory to have the effluent treatment also. So whatever our waste goes along with water is getting treated in our effluent.
Proper waste management
Plot in R&D. So any organic waste we send to the approved effluent treatment plant, where that can be disposed of. But we don't throw it in a drain, or we don't throw anywhere. And that need to be taught to the scientist or to chemist from the beginning.
Yeah. So I think this is a good point you have emphasized, sir. And at the end, I'll request you to give some message to the teachers that how in education system these healthy practices overall can be there, so that the students are becoming more employable, at least if you look from pharmaceutical industry point of view?
Yeah, because chemistry and their potential in the market means their financials also need to be taught to the students, because chemistry, what is the application of what we do in the R&D. So their commercials calculations, their use in the manufacturing and then marketing, so that cycle also should be taught to them, not only chemistry.
So interdisciplinary approach should be there.
Yes.
So the chemistry student not only, like you talk about accounts, maths, then Excel, PowerPoint, then other computer skills. There are so many chemistry softwares if they can handle. Along with that, the interface of bio also, because ultimately these drugs are working in the human body. So knowledge of biology. So I think as chemistry teachers and students, we should be preparing our students in the direction so that we prepare them holistically and at least give them awareness so that they can start preparing on their own around all these requirements for pharmaceutical industry.
Yes.
I think, sir, in your analytical division, the role of instrument is very important.
Yes. Yes.
So when we are training our students, we have set of these instruments, but then how they are different in your industry setup, and how how the students have to be trained around these. If you can highlight on some part.
Yeah, because this equipment, this is our analytical laboratory. Here from NMR, GC mass, LC mass,
Okay.
modern HPLCs, modern UPLCs.
Okay.
So that all equipments are there. Like then we have DSC,
also-
TGA, XRD, which can determine the polymorphs. So polymorphism study is very important nowadays in pharmaceutical industry, and for formulation trials, particle size and polymorphism is very important for drug dissolution studies and drug absorption studies.
Okay.
So these equipments also, like I know that academy also do some industrial training after post graduation or so. So that need to be done in the academics
In the
also,
academics also.
because whatever the latest equipments are there, that at least colleges should have the specifications and the information.
Yeah, I will fully agree with you that as teachers, we should emphasize on the proper instrument handling when the students are doing experiment.
Yes.
Calibration has to
Yeah.
be highlighted. And even I will put a request from the academia to the industry. You keep on investing in bigger and better of these equipments. So if you have something which is outdated, if that can be shared with the educational institutes, I think we should help each
Yeah,
other
that
so
is-
that the students can be prepared and they will be
Yeah,
like
that is
assets for you.
done. That is done by industry. Several industries do that. Whatever out
Because for practice that can
For
be given
practice,
to the
it is giving to the educational,
I think that also
institutes.
will be one of the good
Yes.
CSR support. In many institutes, premier institute, we are having these, but yeah, I agree in many colleges and in remote areas, maybe we are not having. But I as academician feel that if the students can be trained in whatever equipment, but proper handling of that, so that practice can be built up, that yes, you have to do the calibration, this is how entire setting, and then how the data has to be interpreted. So all these skills, they can be then taken to the advanced level when they come to the industry. And I will also request the pharmaceutical industries, not you specifically, but to all the Indian pharmaceutical industry, that if you can also help the academia in this, whatever I suppose that you are having more advanced instruments in all of these directions. So if whatever outdated instruments you stop using, please give them to the academic institutions nearby your place so that the students can be developed in these analytical skills.
Sure.
So that would
Industry do that. Several
Yeah.
industry having this same practice.
Yeah.
This is NMR. This is Bruker make 400 Hertz. And this is used for characterization of impurities and products.
be- So what is this instrument, sir?
This is GC headspace where we do the residual solvent analysis in the APIs.
Okay.
And another one is GC mass where we do the characterization of volatile impurities.
So handling in trace quantities is really again important, because when we do experiments in lab, students handle bulk quantities. It's very important that we minimize that quantity and train them to handle very small amount of chemicals. So this is the organic synthesis R&D division. So student must be using the retrosynthetic approach for constructing the molecules back.
All organic synthesis we carry out here. We have flash chromatography also here.
Okay. Because in organic synthesis, the chromatography approach is very. I can see good practice. Every student is having lab coat.
Yes.
Yeah, that is very compulsory.
Lab coat and safety glasses is compulsory. Without that, no one can enter also inside.
So thank you, sir, for your input on the pharmaceutical industry and the various stages and what requirement you have. And our teachers and students of chemistry will definitely try to work in a direction that those students who are interested to come into this industry, they can be given insight what all skills they have to add up, so that they can be employable in this industry, and they really work with a way where it will be more environmental friendly practices that are adopted in pharmaceutical industry. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, hello sir, and today we have Dr. Anthony Cresto with us. He has more than 30 years experience in various multinational pharmaceutical industries. And let me add here, along with so many other contributions, he has 25 patents to his credit. So, sir, we will like to know that when chemistry students are coming to the pharmaceutical industries, what type of job roles they can be employed on, and what are the skill sets which are required for these students when they are aspiring for these industries.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Anthony Cresto. Thank you. Pharmaceutical chemistry students, there is nothing called pharmaceutical, it is chemistry. You have to apply chemistry to pharma or other industries. Now chemistry naturally needs a skill set. You need a master's and a little more skill. Students can get into drug discovery, analytical, regulatory, intellectual property management, that is patents and all. They can get into quality assurance, they can get into marketing where chemistry knowledge is required. Marketing also, when you import chemicals, you should know what it is. Otherwise, how will you import? How will you export? Then they can go into even writing, anything which needs chemistry. The fundamental knowledge of chemistry is needed. Good aptitude for reading, good understanding of the field, safety aspects, good knowledge of what molecules are, how they react, and lot of things. But safety becomes a prime consideration, and the good knowledge. Students have lot of free information on the net. They should have a taste for it. They should have a taste to go to the bench, conduct experiments, maybe sometimes a little late. Teachers can motivate them. Teachers can be with them, guide them, because they need guidance. So teachers should have an additional skill set. Like whatever they say, it should be correct and proper. The student, otherwise his knowledge, he or she will get bogged down if there is a confusion. Teachers have to be thorough. They should know what the chemicals are. They should tell what the safety aspects are, the dangers, the carcinogens, explosives, and all those things.
So I think as teachers, they can also take their students to visit some nearby
Exactly.
industry,
Yeah, industry.
so that they get exposure at what all is happening. Sir, another aspect I will like to know, because when reactions are happening in the industry, so safety you talked about, there are so many byproducts and the waste that industries create.
Yeah.
So the environment friendly techniques also becomes very important.
Yeah, ma'am. When you
important.
teach, you have to tell them also. Maybe the teacher has to tell them what are the hazard, what are the byproducts, how to dispose them, how they can contaminate the environment, how to dispose, how to keep it separately, how to neutralize them before disposing, not to dispose anything,
Yeah.
because it will create a hazard for the industry.
Oh, because outside then
Because
one
all
will not
information,
know.
no, will not know. All information is available.
Available.
And the most important part is the need to pack. Keep it packed. Do not expose it, because molecules may be unstable. They may decompose. They may pick up moisture. So that care has to be taken.
Care has to be.
So I can add another word: passion and care,
Care.
and love for the environment. The third word: every teacher, every student should love the environment. They should not, dump anything anywhere or throw anything or read. It is there. Information is available how to dispose. Just Google it, you'll get it, and do accordingly.
So this is not even required for only pharmaceutical, but anywhere, entire society needs
Yes, any
this.
society.
So I
Where
think
chemistry is there.
chemistry is
Where you are
there, they
conducting
can,
an experiment, maybe fragrances, flavors, paints, anything, dyes, anything you need. And you have to take care of especially the carcinogens, the cancer-causing compounds, the explosives. So before conducting a reaction, one has to read a parallel reaction. On
the MSDS can be referred for every chemical that the details.
MSDS gives you everything, including emergency measures. First aid kit should be kept
First
ready.
aid kit.
And
Fire extinguisher should
fire
be,
extinguishers,
will be.
yes, I forgot. Fire extinguishers. Lot of things.
Lot
Ma'am,
of
as we talk, there will a lot of things may come up, which I may miss in this short, short talk or a talk with you. But it has to be kept in mind.
One thing also I would like you to highlight on, sir, the instrumentation part. Because when in our classroom situation, the way students handle instrument and when they go into industry, is there any difference or?
Yeah, there is a drastic change in the way they work. It is highly documented, highly systematic. He knows, he or she knows, he will adapt to the new style of working, the instrumentation, the documentation, the records to be maintained, which are very crucial. And it is a complete science there. There is a regulatory department.
So I think, sir, not only the chemistry related skills, but otherwise skills like
chemistry connected. It should be connected to the knowledge
even
of
ICT
chemistry.
skill, communication skill, presentation skills, all have to be there.
All have to be defined. But one has to know the fundamentals of
chemistry.
And the safety, environmental disaster effects, and most important will be the cost. How much it will cost? You have to cut down cost.
So here I will mention that the retrosynthetic approach that we use. So we can have various routes, but we will be taking only that route where it is most cost effective
and cheap. And economically viable.
Yeah. I have one.
And it should fit into the patent scenario. It should not infringe any patent.
Existing, So
because the other company will come with the big notice. And you will lose a lot of money. But if you are good, you have a good patent, you can earn money. So patenting gives you 20 years rights. Why not exploit it? Find out a new route and file it. And then you get exclusive rights for 20 years.
I have one more question, sir, because when you do R&D, that is in the lab, very small scale experiments you do. But ultimately, the drugs have to be produced in large quantities. So you go up to the plants. But what are the modifications which are required in the chemistry reaction?
See, what happens when you start? You are like a discovery chemist. You handle in milligrams. Then you scale it up to 5 grams. Then you maybe 100 grams. There, a little more skill approach is required. Or the chemist has to be a little experienced. But when you go to the plant, you need a skilled chemist.
And maybe if you have exothermic reaction in minute quantities, it may not be, you can manage. But when it goes into large scale,
but there are techniques.
So there,
what is called scaling up. When you scale up, you know the exotherm. There are instruments to measure it. They will alert you.
And then you can take the preventive measures.
You can take the preventive measure by cooling, control the cooling.
So all that has to be
the student
aware.
Who is a new in that field slowly picks up by seeing, because the student has to be given experience. And see, there are thousands and thousands of students now who are doing well. So the process is quite smooth.
Yeah.
Ma'am, the process is very smooth.
Very smooth.
Only thing is, the student needs the passion, the will, the determination, the hard work, the cost effectiveness, the how he or she respects his teachers, listens to them, safety aspects, all those things.
No, no. I think this point you rightly mentioned, because respecting the senior, the same culture they can take
Acha,
it
you added
and
seniors. Yeah, seniors. Routine.
seniors, because in the industry setup, then they will be having their
They will be teaching the juniors.
But I think it's passion towards your work. If you really like that, yes, this is the
Passion,
field I
love,
want to, then you can.
determination, hard work, obedience, all these matter.
And I think that's role our teachers can do. They can talk to their students about the various fields which are available as job opportunities for their students.
And most important
and then they can get interested, and then maybe once they start liking that particular field, they will obviously.
They can invite industry experts for talks and interaction with the students.
I think this also a
Take every opportunity.
very valid point mentioned, that there is a gap between the industry and academia which needs to be bridged now. So this module is one effort towards that, but you all can also visit industry and invite the industry experts to your own institutions, and I think that's how the knowledge which industry persons are having and our students need, we can provide.
What I felt is a lot of students do ask questions in that academic industry meet. They ask questions, they are curious, they even contact you. It's fine.
So
They are curious. That is a good thing. Our country needs brilliant chemists. We need money in the form of cheap drugs. And I think our students and teachers combined will produce it, and we'll have good resource.
So in this lovely background of Juhu Beach, I will request you to give a message to our teachers
My
of the
message
country.
is excel in your field. Have passion. Do hard work. Respect your teachers. Care the environment. Earn a good salary. Yeah, you will get. As you get your grow your expertise. Teachers, yes, they get a lot of satisfaction when their students, they
Give them respect.
give them respect, and then they come back and
Come
big
back
shots
and
give a talk in the same college where they have graduated or post graduated. This is my message.
Dear friends, today we have Dr. Preeti Tagde, who is president of PRISAL. It's an NGO working in the field of bridging the gap between educationists and pharmaceutical industries. So first of all, Preeti, I would like to know what are you working on, and then we will like to know your inputs on, because you have been interacting with various pharmaceutical industries. When a chemistry student is aspiring to go there, what are the skill sets and other achievements he or she should have so that they can be better employed in these industries?
Okay. First, we will start with the Pharmaceutical Royal International Society. Here, we are providing the education in healthcare sector, in social segment we are working. As you taught about the skill sets, what are the skill sets we are planning for the students. Even we have started the continuing education program for the students, like in which we can give the various webinars, various continuing education programs, various seminars to the students, and particularly for the chemistry student, we have planned many modules. Like they can work in the they can be work for the spectroscopic segments, instrumentation and analytical validation purposes. They can have skilled trainings via industry persons.
Okay. And what about the chemistry students when they are getting prepared in the classroom situation?
Okay.
What should the chemistry teachers emphasize more in their teaching learning process so that they can become better employable in this industry?
If we are talking particularly about this segment, so they has to more prone towards the practical aspects. Students should be focused on the practical approach towards, they should be, as teachers should plan the curriculums various curriculums, like they have give their oral presentations, they have poster presentation, they have practical approach, graphical designing. Through that, student will be more prone towards the entrepreneurship development.
And this API, I will like you to
Active pharmaceutical
yeah.
ingredient, yeah.
So if you can highlight something more on this
Yeah.
and how chemistry is related
Yeah.
with the formulation of API.
Okay.
Students should be actually then have to get exposure so that
Their
know,
product will be
yeah,
commercialized.
commercialized.
That is the main thing. Like students are working in the research segment, but they didn't have how to patent their work and how to work on filing.
Exposure on into patent and then filing of that in a proper
Way.
scientific manner. And I think pharmaceutical industries have to play a very ethical role when they are bringing these drugs to the market.
In UG level, student already should be aware that they should not pollute their environment. They did not use such a material. They cannot use expiry dated drugs as such, because these are very much hazardous to the health. So for that, these practices will be start earlier in their UG/PG levels, so they must be more prone towards the awareness of this waste management systems. They can use incineration process, recycling, earlier stage.
And I think our chemistry students and chemistry teachers can collectively work on some projects and spread the awareness that all the medicines, even from our home, if they are expiry
date
been
medicines,
then how they have to be further disposed of, because they should not be just dumped off in the dustbin.
Yeah.
Because ultimately that will go in landfill and may create problem. So there has to be some special. So thanks Preeti for sharing this.
Thank you so much, ma'am,
information.
for interactive session.
Thank you. So dear teachers, I am sure that this chem industry module, it had made some efforts to reduce the industry academia gap in the pharmaceutical industry space. I am sure that this module will be useful for you and you will try to make your students better prepared and equipped, especially for the skill set required in handling instruments and other lab skills. In addition, as many experts told, that we have to make our students prepare for presentation skills, communication skills, other soft skills which are very important when these students move into industry. So in your classroom situation also, you can tell your students to work in group and come up with the presentation, and also not only the communication and the other soft skills, I will also request you to tell your students to upgrade their ICT skills, because even ICT skills are very important for the students who move into these industry. And I like to add one more line here, is that in our classroom situation, as teachers, if we share some knowledge about the various industries where the students may be aspiring to go, they really get interested in learning whatever teaching, learning, experiments and theory we have with more enthusiasm. And that's what is the change which I am sure all of you will try to bring in our education system. So take the chemistry, make it more applied, you relate it where it is being applied, and ultimately all those students who are aspiring to respective fields, if we can really give them idea about that particular industry or the field, the students definitely will get more interested in our classroom situation. So wish you all a happy self-learning. Thank you.